everyone. My name is Gwendolyn Kocher. I am the Marketing and Graphic Design Director here at Global Cleveland, and I'm here with Payne. So thank you for joining me. She is the Research and Policy Fellow at the Cleveland City Council, and she's originally from England. And so, as we all kind of know, immigration and policy issues are a little bit hard to understand. And so we're here to break it down with someone who is on a visa and has kind of traveled the path that it takes to work here in the U.S. and more specifically Cleveland. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you ended up here in Cleveland?
For sure. So as you mentioned, I'm in the Cleveland Foundation Fellowship Program now. So I'm placed in the City Council in the policy team, which has been really great. It's a one-year program which worked really well for my OPT year as part of the F1 student visa. And then I studied my undergraduate and graduate degrees at Cleveland State. And I ended up in Cleveland because I actually played tennis in college. And I originally began my collegiate journey at a really small school in Texas. And it was not really what I envisioned for the American dream. So Cleveland had much more of an urban and city feel. So it was a really good fit for me at the time to transfer.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure Texas is very different than Cleveland.
It's like two different countries.
Culture, weather. So, you had mentioned your visa and OPT. So can you tell us a little bit about OPT?
Yeah, for sure. So it's the optional practical training, and it's the 1 year that you are granted as an extension of the F1 student visa, and it essentially gives you just a chance to work in something related to your field of study, and yeah, it's a really good opportunity for international students.
And so are you on the OPT visa at the moment?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and so were you a recipient of CPT at all?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and so can you tell us a little bit about CPT as well?
Yeah, so CPT works in a similar way to OPT in that it gives you a chance to work as an international student, and especially off campus, because there aren't really many chances or opportunities for international students to do this. So it allows you to, I think for most schools you have to do it as part of a class for credit. So your school will approve it and do all the paperwork and stuff like that. There are no fees or anything like that involved. And yeah, it's basically an internship. You can do it for however many hours for credits. It will correlate. The more hours you do, the more credits is usually worth. And for me, I did it with Us Together, which is a refugee resettlement agency where Evan used to work. He was my supervisor. And I did it for the summer semester, so it was about 3 months, I think.
Well, that sounds like a great opportunity for international students to really hit the ground and gain experience like a lot of American students already do at university. So how does eligibility for these programs operate? What did you have to do to be able to have an OPT and a CPT?
Yeah, so the CPT, I had to register for the class first of all as part of my master's program, and then I had to write a letter pretty much to, I think it was the head of the program, to explain why I thought it would be valuable for me to do that, for them to approve it, and then I think it went by the international office. So in terms of eligibility, you just need to make sure you're registered for a credit and that it goes through the international office. They'll update your I-20 as part of your visa. They'll put a little stamp on there, and yeah, and then you'll just have to work however many hours in terms of the credits, and then you usually write an exit paper as part of the CPT. And then for OPT, in terms of the eligibility, you'll need to register. I forget how many days in advance of graduating or after graduating it is, and it essentially grants you 1 year to work from start to finish, again at an organizational company that's related to your major, and then you as the international student responsible for updating the information on the portal, explaining how it's related to your major. So it's just a lot of, it's not too complicated, but it's just a lot of small little things that you've got to think about all the time and make sure that you're on track with deadlines and explaining how it relates to your major all the time. It always comes back to that.
Yeah, wonderful. So what was your major?
My undergraduate was international relations and political science, and then my graduate degree degree was urban studies.
And so you're very immersed in this world, it sounds like, apart from even, having to go through this process yourself. So how has that benefited your professional development? How has being a recipient of OPT or CPT helped you along your path?
I think it's really benefited me, especially in Cleveland, because it's a big city but a small town, as everyone always likes to say. So I think just in terms of networking and being connected to so many different organizations and people, and just having the chance to work off campus has been really great, because like I mentioned before, there are really not many opportunities for international students to be able to do this. So just basically getting out there and feeling like you can contribute and use your academic work to in the real world has been great.
Yeah, it's definitely real world experience, it sounds like. And do you bring different aspects or skills to an employer being international? We're going to ask you to brag a little bit. Being international, than somebody who is domestic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially in your line of work too.
Right. I think a lot of the time I just bring a different perspective, just because being from a different country and having traveled so extensively to other countries as well, I see things a lot of the time as the bigger picture. So I think that can be helpful for employers. I think there's a tendency when you're always around people of the same mindset and culture to fall into groupthink ways. So I think that's definitely something that I, myself, and other international students can bring. And just like a fresh new perspective and all the things that come with that, values, culture, ideals.
Fantastic. And are you aware of any resources that can help employers better leverage OPT or CPT?
I think apart from you guys at Global Cleveland, I don't think there are many. In my experience in Cleveland, I think a lot of the time it really falls on the individual international student to really do extensive research, making sure you're up to date with. I think it's a lot of the time it feels like it's the international student's responsibility to inform the employer. Has been my experience a lot of the time, and all of the resources on Google. That's the most I can say from my experience.
Yeah, and that's definitely a part of why we're doing this video series in the first place, is because we want employers to know how accessible it is to be able to work with international newcomers and international students such as yourself. And so what would you tell employers who maybe haven't thought about OPT or CPT about some of the benefits of why they should look into it?
Well, I think the really good thing with CPT and OPT is that there are no fees or legal processes involved like there are with H-1B visas or other longer-term working visas. So there really isn't much that they have to do that would complicate, or from if they say like they don't sponsor visas, like a policy perspective. And it really just gives international students a chance to see how they like to work in the US and to really apply the skills that they've learned from studying in the US, but also being an international student from their home country as well. So it's really, really valuable. So yeah, I hope more employers can be able to it.
I hope so too, because it's wonderful to have you here, and the perspectives that you bring to even the Cleveland City Council are just invaluable. So do you intend to continue working in the United States? What is your next step? You're an OPT right now, and that lasts for about a year, is that
Yes,
correct?
correct.
So what is next in your journey?
It's a very good question. If the right opportunity comes up for me in the US and in Cleveland, I would try and stay for a year or two more, or however long the visa will allow me to. So I'll be looking to do the H-1B visa route and seeing how that works out. I'm going to be working with the city to see what we can figure out, and mostly just seeing what is the best fit for me, really, to go forward.
Well, we wish you the best of luck with that. And is there just anything else that you maybe want employers to know about hiring international, or how we can make Cleveland a more welcoming place for international newcomers, or anything that we didn't talk about?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the times the whole visa sponsorship, the fees and the legal issues really override the benefits of hiring an international student. And often employers are really unwilling to even allow you to work there on a CPT or OPT because of the shortness of the program, which is really unfortunate. So I would say to employers, like, please just be more open to that. It really helps the international student out with their experiences, and it gives them invaluable experience, even if it's for a semester, a year, and just show compassion and understanding, because it's tough navigating the process on your own a lot of the time. So it would just be great to have more experiences like that for people, especially in Cleveland.
Well, I hope that people can connect with this video and really learn, what amazing talent we have if they just Google OPT and see that, like
Exactly.
you said, it doesn't have any legal fees. It is really on the international student, and so that we can really benefit all of us. So thank you so much for sharing your time and your story. And if you're interested in learning more about hiring international newcomers, we're hosting a Global Employer Summit, which is a series of complimentary webinars about hiring international folks. And if you want to learn more about our work here at Global Cleveland, you can visit us at globalcleveland.org or visit us on social media at Global Cleveland. Thank you.